Hare Krishna. What is the main reason, or I believe the most overlooked reason, and then others, but the main reason I see so many devotees struggling or wanting to get ahead or get out of a stuck situation wherever you are, is actually not a spiritual problem. It's not a lack of sincerity, it's not a lack of desire, it's a lack of skill set and thinking. Just basic, down to earth, what I call we're set up to fail. We're set up to fail in material education, in material life. We've grown up without the right mindset for success and habits and etc., because society doesn't want well-equipped, well-rounded, self-motivated, independent individuals. But I want to give a really great example that helps me understand how thriving Bhakti can really help you. And just hear me out and see what you think. What I like to address is that imagine you're starting, you've been an employee. That means you just turn up, you just have to show up to work basically. It's no effort, you just show up, everything's set for you, you're told what to do, the bells rings, right? You're very much just in the flow. But then suddenly you decide to go into business for yourself. And yeah, you're just going to suddenly shift into a business mindset. Now, what happens to most businesses that start? They fail. Most startups fail within the first 5 years for different reasons. 80% is a statistic I hear from business owners that I work with. And what they tell me is that people are set up to fail. You know, they jump on board. Suddenly they want to start a business. They kind of know what they're supposed to be doing, but they've never done it before. And they don't actually know the thinking that goes with a good business owner. So they're ill prepared for business ownership, isn't it? So you imagine, like, suddenly you've got to start dealing with staff. You've got to start dealing with stock, ordering, logistics, warehouses, lease, hiring and firing, accounts, trying to get accounts receivable. People aren't paying. You are now the everything. You've now taken on board a huge responsibility, and you've taken on these loans, and probably you borrowed money to set up the business, right? It's a huge shock, and many don't make it, right? So here you are, living your life, and then you come to Bhakti, and then you hear about you've suddenly got this 2 hours of reading to do. You've got to follow vows. You've got these habits to follow. You've got commitments to the outreach, or going to the temple, the deity worship. Yeah, you have all these responsibilities. So you're still actually an employee, but you're trying to start a business at the same time. So you're actually juggling your business as it was before, and now you're juggling a self-employed business, so to speak, an esquadron business, which now requires everything's on you. You have your sadhana, your reading, your puja, your deity worship, you go to the temple, your responsibilities, and it's all on you, and you take vows. You have commitments. It's like signing your mortgage agreements, whatever. You're there for life. If you can try to grab the point here. But how many of us were actually set up to actually handle running our own business, handle all these things? There's a certain thinking, a certain level of self-management, how to deal with other people. You've got relationships to deal with. You've got so much to deal with it with this new business, but you're actually set up to fail because you didn't learn how to do that in school. They didn't even teach you how to budget in school. Yet you're starting up your own business in Bhakti. So what most of the temples do and most of the mentorship is just around, or probably just need to get your reading right, get this right. It's basic mentorship, which is very, very useful. But there's more to it than just reading and chanting. You have to actually build a mindset. So those, and a skill set, and those businesses that actually make it, They get through all that because they learn, they've got that resilience. They start to build and learn and persevere, and they manage then to run the business very smoothly. but most don't. And I believe one factor that's really overlooked is devotees, we have our lives, and then we have this bhakti business that we're fully responsible for, expected to follow. It's our life and soul. It's everything. It's actually beyond our day job, so to speak. And a lot of devotees find it hard to manage all that. Once children come, work issues, health issues, and now you have all this sadhana, morning programs. You've got your morning stresses to get to work. How much have you been prepared for that? I don't think we're prepared enough these days, and certainly it's just expected in temples. Those who are temple dependent, those who are sannyasis, or those who are renunciates who are dependent on others, and they're just doing one job, being a monk or being a sannyasi or running a temple. They don't actually understand because it's not their ashram, it's not their situation. What are the needs and the skill set and how to actually run that business, bhakti business, while living in the real world? Say the real world, I mean, it's not the real world, but living in the world of work and kids and schools and managing life outside. Because most devotees will live outside. Our temples can't house everyone. The majority of devotees will live outside. And it requires, how about having a program, which is I call Thriving Bhakti, which is a program which builds the individual to get that mindset and the skill set and the habits and the thinking right, so you can actually manage your economic development and at the same time your bhakti business, which you have on the side, right? Of course, working is part of your bhakti business, actually, to be strictly speaking. So I'm offering a program that equips devotees to quickly. I've got a couple of new devotees on the program right now, and from the very beginning they're learning immediately. I am preparing them for business ownership in bhakti. Not that they just come on board and somehow, yes, they've got a chant and they've just got to work it all out on their own. You see, business owners who are successful, they think differently to an employee. Employee mindset means everything's done for you. You just show up, you're told what to do, the bells ring, when to have lunch, when to go to toilet, when your holidays are. But bhakti is not like that. Self-employed business is not like that. You have to show up every day. You have to get up when you don't feel like it. Everything's on you. And that's why most people fail, even in business, what to say of bhakti. And I think that's what happened. I have had conversations with devotees who were around some years ago, and they're just like, well, I've got this business, I moved on, I did a lot of service back then, but I've got to live in the real world. And I personally, and I mean this, if you're a temple devotee or you're a renunciate and you've never had a job or worked a career, then you really can't advise people to a deep level on the practicalities. You don't know what life and the mindset is out there. I mean, better for those persons to hear that those who have experience in that arena. But the sure thing, the purpose of the renunciates and the monks is to remind the other ashrams what they should be doing, what they should be focusing on, and how to keep Krishna in the center. But without a doubt, that's what they should. But where's the preparation? Or those who are already in those situations of working, family life, going through stages of life, through your 30s and 40s, how to go the distance in bhakti, how to go through those stages, how to handle all that requires a higher modal thinking. It requires preparation. And it requires skills as well, how to balance, how to set goals. So the ingredients I put in the Thriving Bhakti program equip the base level skill set and mindset for devotees to be able to balance and live, take care of their material responsibilities, and keep their spiritual life at the forefront. And like Navy SEALs, they're equipped how to do that. They're trained. Most devotees don't necessarily have training, and even in the temples, we don't often understand what that training is really about. Rising early, yes, we get the habit of rising early, getting the morning program in, yeah, but what happens when you leave? you actually haven't had the experience of living in the reality of having a job, going to work, commuting, bills, all this. You haven't been prepared for that. How about having that preparation? So even if you're a renunciate on the way out, or you're a single just starting out in Bhakti, and even if you're a devotee who's been around decades and you're still stuck, or you still want to get back to where you used to be in your Bhakti career and your Bhakti business outside of your family obligations, then this program works for everyone. I have young, old, whatever. We have all different persons in the program. And it gives you the 3 ingredients. You have to get the mindset, you have to know how to set goals, and it's not a simple thing, just setting goals and writing down. There's a whole depth to goal setting, and there's the accountability. How to be in an environment that's encouraging, that's realistic, and deals with your human experience. We have a human experience that we have, and often we're not expressing or talking about that. We show up at the temples, everything's all on show. Hare Krishna Prabhu, everything fine. We go home and we have issues in our relationships. We have issues with finance. We have challenges that we're experiencing mentally and emotionally. We have to address those and build the mind and the emotional resilience of devotees to move forward. And I also see how important these kinds of programs are, like Driving Bhakti, to especially younger people coming in now who have, for whatever reasons, they have been emotionally weakened to tolerate and to push on. So if you like what you're hearing and you're interested in what you're hearing and you want to learn more, I have other podcasts on Spotify, and I have my YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe. It lets me know that you're listening, that this is of value to you. And those who want to know more about the program, they can look at the website and they can join, or they can contact me if they want to know more information. My program is not a course. It's not a whole lot of exams and writing and studying. It's just basically simple things every day that won't stress you. They're just simple program that over a period of time can help you move and address some of the challenges that you have. And within 30, 90 days, you'll start to see breakthroughs. And of course, and beyond 90 days. So Thriving Back is practical. It's not replacing mentors or guidance at all. No, it's not that. In fact, it helps you achieve and fulfill the advice you get from mentors and coaches. Often that's a bit of I had a question from a regional senior devotee in America, and he asked me, is this like mentorship? And within that I said, well, what do you mean? Is this like replacing mentorship of their local mentors? No, it's not. It's supportive completely. I mean, imagine being a mentor and you have someone you're working with, and you keep seeing they have this issue with around their reading and their chanting, and you're giving kind of bits of advice, and they're not managing to meet that target or manage to move forward very quickly. This program makes that happen. Would you be happy? Yeah, I can assure and can guarantee some of the devotees on the program have, within 30, 90, 60 days, have achieved reading and chanting levels and beyond. We don't just deal with just chanting and reading. It can be anything from relational communication, big projects that you're doing. It would assist, and it really helps the mentors, because most of the mentors in our Krishna conscious movement, they can give advice about things without a doubt, but the practical tools and skill sets and mindset for success, often most of them haven't been trained in those either. Maybe to various degrees. So it's very supportive of mentorship and communities and self-care and these kinds of programs. Because it doesn't matter what the challenge is, what the goal is, it makes it happen. And it makes it happen, and it equips the devotee to become self-reliant, but to become their own independent business owner, so to speak, independent bhakti owner. We want devotees to be equipped to independently manage their lives, their mental health, physical health, emotional health, and spiritual health. We want to equip devotees to be all-rounded in those areas so they can go the distance. Because if physically and emotionally and mentally things deteriorate or aren't on par, these can often are what are holding devotees back from moving forward, especially in these early stages of bhakti. Of course, later on, okay, all the advanced devotees out there who are way beyond all these things, this is not for you. So that's a little bit of in-depth presentation on thriving bhakti and its sheer simplicity and brilliance and practicality to help devotees really get unstuck, no longer feel overwhelmed and ill-equipped to be able to handle the challenges that are coming their way that's holding them back in their progress in spiritual life. Please subscribe, please like this, and please, I'd like to hear your comments. Hare Krishna.